This is Atlantic Television Network. Welcome to Global News. First, the highlights. Rivers Assembly accuses Fubara of stalling budget process. Youth Copper alleges threats to criticizing Tinubu's government. Sarab sues Akpabio over Natasha's suspension. Nigeria's 1.1 billion naira loan request to be granted by World Bank. Tornadoes, storms kills 27 persons in U.S. Arsenal caught Liverpool with 1-0 win over Chelsea. Nigeria has no plans for youth, Thames' manager. Rivers State House of Assembly has accused Governor Siminalayi Fubara of frustrating the implementation of the Supreme Court's judgment, particularly the directive requiring him to represent the 2025 appropriation bill to the lawmakers. The Martin Amehule-led House, which is loyal to the former governor and the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, made the accusation through its chairman, House Committee on Information and spokesperson, Dr. Enemi George, in Port Harcourt, the state capital, on Sunday. George urged the public to pressure the governor to follow due process in presenting the 2025 appropriation bill rather than attempting to gain public sympathy by portraying lawmakers as obstacles, and challenged the governor to produce an acknowledged copy of the letter he claimed to have sent to the House. George also said the governor frustrated all the House's efforts to work with him to resolve the lingering crisis immediately after the Supreme Court's judgment, particularly on the aspect of presenting the appropriation bill in the interest of the state. George said the governor must be reminded that the House of Assembly is not an appendage of the executive and its members are not his slaves, born servants and serfs, stressing that the Assembly was the worst hit in the ongoing crisis, lamenting that the lawmakers had suffered untold hardship, insisting that the governor must be stopped from extending such punishment to Rivers people. He warned that the governor's actions could negatively impact the livelihoods of Rivers people. Transmission Company of Nigeria has blamed the Benin Electricity Distribution Company for the power outage in some parts of Delta State. A statement signed by Ndidi Mba, General Manager, Public Affairs of TCN, said BEDC wrongly attributed its inability to deliver power to its 33 kV customers to TCN's maintenance activities. This is coming after the management of BEDC had, in a statement on its social media platforms, listed the feeders affected by the outage as Abraka Commercial, Industrial Commercial, Ugeli Shell, Sapele, and Abraka. The BEDC said the affected feeders are all on Band A, adding that the power outage was as a result of maintenance works by TCN. However, in a statement released in response to BEDC's claims, TCN said the power outage was not due to maintenance service on its part, while the TCN, in the statement signed by its spokesperson, Ndidi Mba, urged BEDC to provide accurate information to its customers and for the benefit of all stakeholders. Mba assured that TCN remains committed to ensuring efficient and reliable transmission of electricity nationwide. Nigerian Education Loan Fund says plans are underway to introduce specialized software aimed at ensuring that students with disabilities in higher institutions can fully take advantage of its loan scheme. Managing Director, Chief Executive of NEL Fund, Akintunde Sawyer, disclosed this during a stakeholders' engagement on student loans in Benin City, Edo State on Sunday. Sawyer said the act establishing the loan scheme guarantees equal opportunity for all, adding that NEL Fund will collaborate with the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities to ensure more inclusivity. During the event, which brought together religious leaders, parents, persons with disabilities, government officials, teachers and community representatives, Sawyer described the initiative under President Bola Tinubu's administration as a transformative step for education in Nigeria. Sawyer reiterated the government's commitment to making tertiary education accessible to all Nigerians, stating that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came up with this initiative that no Nigerian students anywhere in Nigeria should be deprived of the opportunity to gain tertiary education because of lack of money. On his part, Edo State Deputy Governor Dennis Idahosa commended the federal government for making the student loan scheme a reality. Iyamo described the scheme as nearly free due to its zero-interest nature, explaining that repayments would only begin 2 years after completing the National Youth Service Corps and when beneficiaries are employed, with deductions set at 10% of their salary. Assistant Secretary of the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria for the Southeast Zone, Reverend Blessed Amalambu, has condemned Anambra State government's recent ban on public preaching of the gospel. He described the policy introduced by Anambra State Governor Professor Chukwuma Soludo as misguided, adding that the ban, which was aimed at controlling noise pollution, mandates heavy fines for any defaulter. But reacting to the development, Southeast Zonal Secretary of PFN, Reverend Blessed Amalambu, said Christians will not sit idly by as someone tries to stifle what God has established, and urged Soludo, a fellow Christian, to rethink his stance on the matter. According to Amalambu, Governor Soludo should consult legal experts to analyze the sensitivity of the policy so as not to infringe on the rights of Christians, while calling for the amendment of the 1999 Constitution to ensure equal representation for all faiths. He urged the governor to allow free preaching of the gospel in the public for the benefit of those who did not attend church. Enugu State Governor Peter Mba has commended the Department of State Services for the arrest of 5 suspected high-profile kidnappers operating in forests across the state. The DSS operatives, while acting on credible intelligence, traced the suspects to their hideouts in 2 separate locations in the state. The suspects were believed to be part of a gang that had been terrorizing Udi local government area and other parts of the state. The kidnappers, according to a statement, confessed that they had collected huge sums of money as ransom from victims' relatives, and items recovered from the suspects included large sums of money, being proceeds of their illicit activities, leather, weapons, and other dangerous objects. The governor said the DSS, in conjunction with the military, police and other security agencies, as well as the state-owned forest guards, will sustain crackdown on other fleeing gang members, as well as raid their hideouts and camps in the forest. Forward operating base in Badagry of the Nigerian Navy has confiscated no fewer than 13,800 liters of petrol and at least 71 bags of foreign rice in multiple operations along Badagry creeks. A statement on Sunday by the commanding officer of FOB Badagry, Navy Captain Oyeleye Omotayo, who confirmed that the seizures occurred between March 7 and 14, said naval operatives acted on intelligence received about suspected smugglers operating in the area, leading to the interception of the items during separate operations. According to him, the operation focused on intercepting within her rights to express her frustration over the country's worsening economic conditions and also complain about Lagos State's poor sanitation, describing it as a smelling state. Shortly after the video went viral, Ogwamaye alleged that she began receiving threats, purportedly from NYSC officials, pressuring her to delete the content, and she took to Instagram to express fears for her safety, stating that her personal details had been leaked and that she was being pressured to report to the NYSC office. Amnesty International's statement also accused the Nigerian authorities of attempting to silence dissenting voices rather than addressing citizens' economic grievances, and the controversy has sparked a national debate on free speech and the role of the NYSC in suppressing the public criticism. Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun has approved the training program for permanent secretaries and other top management officers in the public and civil service of the state. A statement by the state's head of service, Kehinde Onasanya, said the one-week intensive training program is expected to train PS's principals, general managers, and other top echelon of the service, while other grade levels and cadres would also benefit from it. Onasanya confirmed that the training program for the PSSs was expected to commence in the second week of April, while civil servants on GL 13 to 17 would also be trained based on a well-structured curriculum. Also, the director of the school, Professor Shola Adeyanju, described Prince Abiodun as a true nationalist and a man of great vision, pointing out that NIPSS presence was already stamped in the state, adding that the federal government asked NIPSS to take over the school so it could achieve the vision of the founder, Kabiyesi Owujale of Ijebuland, and for his legacy to endure. High Court of the Federal Capital Territory has ordered the Benue State Local Government Election Petitions Tribunal to sit in Abuja to hear and determine all petitions arising from the October 5, 2024 local government elections. The decision was made due to security concerns in Benue State, and permission was granted to the Local Government Appeal Tribunal on the disputed election to continue conducting proceedings at the Nigerian Bar Association House in Abuja. Justice M.M. Adamu issued the order while delivering a ruling in an ex parte application brought before him by a factional leadership of the All Progressives Congress in Benue State. The ex parte application was argued by lawyer Anderson Asemuta on behalf of the applicants, who are Augustine Agada, Chairman, Daniel Ihonu, Publicity Secretary, and the APC, while other respondents in the ex parte application are the Chief Justice of Nigeria, the Attorney General of the Federation, the NBA President, the Inspector General of Police, and the Nigeria Police Force. In the ruling, Justice Adamu restrained the petition tribunal chairman in the 3 zones of Benue from relocating to Makurdi for the purpose of hearing cases against the elections, and also restrained the appeal tribunal from moving from Abuja to the Benue State capital for the purpose of determining the appeals that may be brought before them in respect of the council poll. Justice Adamu ordered the Inspector General of Police and the Nigeria Police to provide security to the tribunal during its sittings in Abuja. Kogi State Police Command has thwarted an attempted abduction of passengers along the Kaba-Ayere Road, rescuing victims from armed kidnappers. According to the Police Public Relations Officer in the state, ASP William Aya, the incident occurred at the weekend, prompting a swift response from officers attached to the Police Mobile Force, 70 Squadron, Kaba, and on receipt of the distress call, reinforcement teams from Shapa Corner, pinned down, were promptly mobilized to this scene. The officers engaged the hoodlums, and due to the superior firepower of the police, the criminals fled into the bush, abandoning their victims, who were safely rescued. The Commissioner of Police, CP Miller Dantawaye, has since ordered the deployment of additional tactical teams to comb the surrounding bushes in a bid to track down the fleeing suspects and bring them to justice. Commending the officers for their swift intervention, Dantawaye reassured residents of the command's commitment to ensuring safety and tackling criminal activities in the state. Joint security operatives in Katsina State have foiled a bandit attack and killed 1 suspect during the operation. A statement by the police command's public relations officer, DSP Abubakar Sadiq, said the operation was at the instance of the Commissioner of Police, CP Aliyu Abubakar Musa. Sadiq said it was done in collaboration with the Department of State Services and members of the Katsina State Community Watch Corps, adding that the operation followed a planned bandit attack on Dantakuri village via the Damusa local government area of the state. The statement also said, while scanning the scene, items were recovered including 1 AK-47 rifle with 3 rounds of 7.62mm ammunition, 1 unregistered red boxer motorcycle, 50 wraps of suspected Indian hemp, 32 bottles of soft drinks, 1 cutlass, and 1 dangerous drugs, I beg your pardon. The Commissioner of Police, Katsina State Command, CP Aliyu Abubakar Musa, while commending the operatives for their professionalism and exceptional act of valor, reiterates the command's commitment in collaborating with sister security agencies while ensuring the protection of lives and properties of the good people of Katsina. Abubakar also urged the public to continue to support the command with timely and accurate information for prompt and decisive action against all criminal elements in the state. Kano State government has made clarification on the recent court appeal judgment concerning the ongoing emirship dispute while addressing widespread misinterpretations and speculative reports in the media. A statement by the governor's spokesman, Sunusi Dawakin Tofa, at a press briefing held at the NUJ Secretariat in Kano, the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice Haruna Dederi stressed the need for accurate information regarding the legal proceedings, adding that the Court of Appeal, in its judgments delivered on January 10, 2025, upheld the repeal of the Kano Emirate Council Law 2019 and overturned the judgment of the Federal High Court, Kano. However, he said Alhaji Aminu Dan Angundi, dissatisfied with the verdict, has since filed an appeal before the Supreme Court of Nigeria and further clarified that the Court of Appeal's judgment remains valid and binding until the Supreme Court decides otherwise. He described the recent stay of execution granted by the Court of Appeal as a standard legal procedure meant to maintain the status quo pending determination of the case at the Apex Court, while the Attorney General, on behalf of the Governor, expressed appreciation to the people of Kano State for their patience, understanding and unwavering prayers for peace and progress in the state and the nation at large. Fatal road accident involving a gas-laden tanker and a sand-loaded tipper occurred on Saturday morning at the entrance of Safe near Duse, Zamfara State, resulting in the death of the tanker driver and injuries to 3 others. Security analyst Zagazola Makama disclosed the incident in a post on X on Sunday. According to him, the accident happened at exactly 10:19 a.m., prompting an immediate response from the Zamfara State Fire Service, while emergency responders also evacuated the injured victims to a nearby hospital for treatment. The cause of the crash remains unclear, but authorities have commenced an investigation to determine what led to the collision. Nigerian Army says its troops of 3 Division Operation Safe Haven have arrested 2 notorious kidnappers, Bashir Mohammed and Ismail Mohammed, in Plateau State. According to a statement on its official Facebook page on Sunday, the Nigerian Army said the operation was carried out on Saturday following intelligence reports. The statement disclosed this during the operation after troops recovered dangerous weapons, including 1 AK-47 rifle and 1 AK-47 magazine from the criminal elements. In compliance with the amended Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and Electricity Act 2023 as amended, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission has issued an order to transfer regulatory oversight of the electricity market in Plateau State to the Plateau State Electricity Regulatory Commission. This is coming after the EA 2023. The Commission retains the role as a central regulator with regulatory oversight of interstate and international generation, transmission, supply, trading, and system operations. The EA also mandates any state that intends to establish and regulate interstate electricity markets to deliver a formal notification of its processes and request NERC to transfer regulatory authority over electricity operations in the state to the state regulator. Based on this, NERC said the government of Plateau State has complied with the conditions precedent in the laws, duly notified NERC, and requested the transfer of regulatory oversight of the intrastate electricity market in Plateau State. You're watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. We will be back after this break.
Naija, welcome to the How far Naija, welcome to the Glow Cafe app. Come in. Because it's time for an upgrade. Your own personal Glow Cafe app open 24/7. Welcome to bigger, better, smarter. Welcome to total control of your data, your airtime. Mom, I'll call you back. How you buy? I'll send you data. How you share and how you recharge. Movies, gaming, music. All in one place. Welcome to more value. Download the upgraded Glow Cafe app and get more data. Get 100% recharge bonus and get a massive 100 gigabytes data bonus when you register. Want it all? Download all this into this. Unlimited. How far Naija? Welcome to the Glow Cafe app. Come in. Because it's time for an upgrade. Your own personal Glow Cafe app open 24/7. Welcome to bigger, better, smarter.
Welcome back. This is the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. Now to the rest of our stories. First Lady Senator Oluremi Tinubu has emerged as the winner of the Independent Awards 2024 for Best Woman of the Year, dedicating the award to Nigerian women and youths. She praised their tireless contributions towards the nation's growth and development at the Independent Awards 2024 Gala Night in Lagos. Tinubu, a former Lagos Central Senator, was represented by wife of the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Fatima Tajuddin, said. The award was dedicated to every Nigerian woman and youth contributing to the country's progress, describing them as Nigeria's unsung heroes. Meanwhile, a People's Democratic Party leader in the Southwest, Chief Olabode George, urged President Bola Tinubu to resolve the ongoing crisis in Rivers State before it escalates, adding that the state was vital to Nigeria's economy and should not be allowed to descend into chaos or unrest. He warned that allowing the crisis to worsen could lead to national instability, referencing past civil unrest from Maiduguri to Port Harcourt. Nigerian Senate is set to prioritize the passage of the Nigeria Forest Security Service Bill to enhance the country's fight against insecurity. Deputy State President Barau Jibrin, who disclosed this over the weekend when the Commander General of the Nigerian Forest Security Service, Dr. Wole Joshua Osatimehi, led a delegation of top officers on a courtesy visit to his residence in Abuja. He said the urgent need for a fully equipped and well-funded forest security service to combat banditry, terrorism, and kidnapping across the country. He commended Dr. Osatimehi and the Nigeria Forest Security Service team for their contributions to national security, adding that the passage of the bill would further empower them to complement the efforts of the military, police, departments of state services, and other security agencies. Earlier, Dr. Osatimehi highlighted the vital role of the Nigerian Forest Security Service has been playing, particularly in intelligence gathering and collaboration with security agencies, adding that the service has established functional command and control offices in all 36 states, and the Federal Capital Territory has recruited thousands of operatives. Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project has sued Senate Bagam. The suit filed at the Federal High Court, Abuja, seeks to overturn the 6-month suspension, which Serap argued violates the senator's fundamental rights and deprives her constituents of representation. Serap's duty director, Kolawole Oluwadare, said Serap sues Akpabio over failure to reverse the unlawful suspension of Natasha Akpoti and had urged the court for an order of mandamus to direct and compel Mr. Akpabio to rescind the unlawful suspension of Mrs. Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, reinstate her, and fully restore all her legislative rights, entitlements, and privileges. This is coming after Senate had suspended Akpoti Uduaghan for allegedly speaking without permission and refusing to accept her new seat in the chamber. And the suspension not only bars her from participating in Senate activities, but also withholds her salary and allowances, adding that the action is unconstitutional, stating that no one should ever be punished for speaking without permission. The rights group is also seeking an order of perpetual injunction restraining the Senate from further suspending or taking any disciplinary action against Mrs. Natasha Akpoti solely for peaceful exercise of her fundamental human rights. In its legal argument, Serap contended that the suspension is a violation of the Nigerian Constitution and international human rights treaties to which Nigeria is a signatory, and further argued that the application of Section 6, Paragraph 1 and 2 of the Senate Rules and the Senate Standing Orders 2023 as amended in suspending Akpoti Uduaghan is in direct conflict with constitutional provisions guaranteeing freedom of expression. Serap also cited the Nigerian Constitution Section 39, which guarantees freedom of expression, stating that every person shall be entitled to freedom of expression, including freedom to hold opinions and to receive and impart ideas and information without interference, and insisted that the Senate's actions directly contravene the constitutional protections. House of Representatives Public Accounts Committee says it has recovered 28.7 billion naira from two oil companies indebted to the country's federation account. The spokesperson of the Green Chamber, Akin Rosimi, disclosed this in a statement on Sunday that the recovery is a part of the total $1.7 trillion debt owed by 45 oil companies to Nigeria's federation account. The commitment said two companies, namely Chorus Energy Limited, settled for its outstanding liability with a payment of 1.2 billion naira on March 11, 2025, and Serap Production Developments Limited fully discharged its obligation by remitting 27.6 billion naira between March 10 and March 14, 2025. Consequently, the PAC cleared Amalgamated Oil Company Nigeria Limited, Seplat Energy, Shell Exploration and Production, and Shell Petroleum Development Company of all financial indebtedness to the Federation account. The committee reaffirmed its commitment to deploying all constitutionally sanctioned measures to recover outstanding debts from the remaining 38 oil companies under investigation. Federal Judicial Service Commission has confirmed the appointment of Kabir Akambi as the substantive Chief Registrar of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. The confirmation was conveyed to him via a letter issued on Friday, 14th March 2025, while Akambi was appointed in acting capacity on 13th February 2025, following the retirement of the immediate past Chief Registrar of the Court, Haju Saki Bello. Prior to his appointment, Akambi was the Deputy Chief Registrar in charge of the Election Petition Tribunal Unit at the Court of Appeal headquarters in Abuja, and he came to the job with a wealth of experience in law and information and communication technology, ICT, spanning 2 decades. He obtained his law degree at the University of Ibadan in 2001 and was subsequently called to the Nigerian bar in 2003, and in 2005 he got his LLM degree and at Temple University in Philadelphia, United States of America. A statement by Dr. Akande Festus, Director, Information and Public Relations, Supreme Court of Nigeria, indicated that the Chief Registrar is a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria and the Institute of Information Management Africa, respectively. Ex-Vice President Atiku Abubakar has expressed support for a Lagos-based National Youth Service Corps member, Ushie Agwamaye, also known as Raye, who claimed to have received threats after her viral video criticizing President Bola Tinubu's administration. In a statement shared on X on Sunday, Atiku corruption and leadership, ineptitude among others, the former president, who disclosed this in one of his new books, Nigeria, Past and Future, said leaders on the continent should not think that they could continue to govern with bare-faced stealing and lies, and remain insensitive to the people's plight without repercussions and revolt. The former president equally lamented that as important as the traditional rulers could be as major stakeholders in building a developed nation, the institution had over the years been bastardized, adding dignity, aura, and respect should be brought back, and traditional rulers should be an asset to Nigeria's development and greatness and not a liability. Contributing significantly to the military failure, according to Obasanjo, is corruption occasioned by the government commissioning their kits and cane to buy inferior equipment for the army, and also alleged that former President Muhammadu Buhari was selective in determining the criminal groups the military must fight, adding that this to a large extent exacerbated the nation's insecurity challenge. Former Kaduna State Governor Nasser El-Rufai has called for a united opposition among political leaders in the country. To achieve this, El-Rufai invited the 2023 presidential candidates of the People's Democratic Party and Labour Party, Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi respectively, to the Social Democratic Party. He also called on the former governor of Osun State, Rauf Aregbesola, and ex-minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amici, to join the party to form a formidable opposition, and El-Rufai's call came amid political realignment and formation of a coalition movement ahead of the 2027 general elections. The former Kaduna governor joined the SDP last Monday, citing the growing misalignment between his personal values and the current direction of the APC as the primary reason for his decision, adding that some former ministers of ex-President Muhammadu Buhari would move en masse to the SDP. Former Jigawa State Governor and People's Democratic Party chieftain Sule Lamido has dismissed the call by ex-Kaduna State Governor Nasser El-Rufai, urging opposition leaders to join the Social Democratic Party. El-Rufai, who recently announced his defection from the All Progressives Congress to the SDP, and the former governor also questioned El-Rufai's motives for defecting from the APC to the SDP and argued that the PDP had not done anything to warrant his defection, and also stressed on his long-standing loyalty. Lamido advised El-Rufai to put patriotism first instead of showing anger towards others. Federal government has unveiled requirements for civil servants seeking to migrate their salaries, change their names and their next of kin, among others. In a memo by the Office of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation, dated March 12, 2025, and addressed to all federal government ministries, departments and agencies, the memo said the government had observed that civil servants effecting the changes on their names and next of kins do not submit the necessary documents needed to effect such changes, hence the need for the memo. The statement said, with the implementation of the human resource component of the IPPIS in the Federal Public Service, it has become necessary to take note and be guided by the above requirements. 7 tertiary institutions in the country have been queried by the federal government through the Tertiary Education Trust Fund over deductions of contractors' fees to the tune of 28.8 billion naira. The institutions are Taraba State University, Lagos State University, Edo State University, Plateau State University. The institutions were queried over extra deductions on payments made to contractors on each project, and in the audit of 2023 financial year, the deductions may be for development levy or state tax. In the case of Taraba State University, the fund said the sum of 2.1 billion naira was allegedly deducted from 2021 zonal intervention and 4.3 billion naira for the 2021 annual intervention, and for Lagos State University, I beg your pardon, the sum of 3.3 billion naira was reportedly deducted from 2019/2020 annual intervention. According to the report, Plateau State University deducted a sum of 2.6 billion naira, while Edo State University deducted 1.9 billion naira. Federal Road Safety Corps says it is currently studying the court ruling on faded vehicle number plates. This is coming after, on January 17, 2025, a federal high court in Lagos issued an order restraining the FRSC from arresting or imposing fines on drivers with faded number plates. The case was brought before the court by Chinwike Ezebube, who argued that the FRSC, as the sole designer and producer of vehicle number plates in Nigeria, was responsible for the quality and durability of those plates. The court considered several questions related to the responsibility of the FRSC for the fading of number plates and whether it could penalize drivers for using plates that deteriorate due to poor quality production. In response to the ruling, the FRSC spokesperson Olusegun Ogbugbemide said faded number plates result from normal wear and tear rather than poor manufacturing. Adding that the National Road Traffic Regulations of 2012 has amended, allowed vehicle owners to apply for replacement of lost or damaged number plates. He assured that the corps was carefully reviewing the court's decision and would fully comply with the judgment, while the spokesperson reiterated that the FRSC respects the rule of law and would not take any action that disrespects the court's ruling. National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has intercepted multiple illicit drug consignments bound for the United States, Saudi Arabia, Poland, Italy, and the United Arab Emirates. The drugs, including cocaine, tramadol, loud, and molly, were concealed in various items such as paper beads, board game packs, and female clothing. A statement signed by the agency's Director of Media and Advocacy, Femi Babafemi, on Sunday said 2 suspects behind some of the aborted missions and the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos, have already been arrested. One of them is a 43-year-old businesswoman, Japo Egwari, May, who was nabbed at the Gate C departure hall of the Lagos airport while attempting to board an Air France flight to Italy. In a separate operation in Kano, NDLEA operatives arrested 40-year-old Hassan Haruna at Chalawa and recovered 727 blocks of compressed skunk weighing 479 kilograms, while in Kogi State, officers intercepted 58,300 pills of tramadol along the Kaba-Obanja Highway in a commercial bus traveling from Lagos to Abuja. World Bank may approve a total of $1.13 billion in loans for Nigeria before the end of March 2025 as part of ongoing efforts to support the country's economic resilience, health security, and education reforms. According to information published on the World Bank's website, 3 key projects for Nigeria are at the stage of negotiation with approval dates set for this month. Among the projects set for negotiation is the Accelerating Nutrition Results in Nigeria 2.0 program, valued at $80 million, which is expected to be approved by March 31, 2025. An initiative is aimed at improving nutrition outcomes, particularly among vulnerable groups, by enhancing access to essential dietary support and reducing malnutrition rates. Another project in the negotiation phase is the Community Action for Resilience and Economic Stimulus Program, which has a commitment value of $500 million and is expected to be approved by March 24, 2025. The project is designed to provide economic stimulus for community-driven initiatives to strengthen economic resilience and growth, adding that the initiative seeks to improve the quality of basic education by addressing infrastructure deficits, enhancing teacher training, and increasing educational accessibility across the country. The potential approval of the loans comes at a time when Nigeria continues to grapple with economic challenges, including foreign exchange liquidity constraints, fiscal deficits, and mounting debt servicing obligations. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edu, earlier said that rather than accumulating more debt, the government is prioritizing alternative funding sources such as revenue generation, concessional loans, and strategic investments. Despite an improved supply of foreign exchange, Nigeria's fulfillment of letter of credit payments plummeted by 33.28% in the 12 months of 2024 compared to the same period in the previous year. The amount dropped by $435.51 million from $1.31 billion total letter of credit payments made via official channels in 2023 to $873 million in 2024. The significant decrease highlights the challenges the country faces in its international trade and financial transactions and could have several implications for Nigeria's economy. While letters of credit are a crucial component of international trade, assuring exports that they will receive payments, a sharp decline in such payments could indicate decrease or other economic constraints. As the price war in the downstream oil sector continues, leading to recurring reductions in the price of premium motor spirits, commonly known as petrol, oil marketers have resorted to slashing the volume of their fuel purchase amid mounting losses from the price drop. The price war, primarily between Dangote Petroleum Refinery and the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited, began in November 2024 when the Africa's largest private refinery lowered the price of petrol from 990 to 970 per litre. Dangote further reduced it to 899 per litre, citing the need to provide relief for Nigerians during the holiday season, while NNPCL also slashed its ex-depot price of the product from 1,040 to 899 naira per litre, according to the Petroleum Products Retail Outlets Owners Association of Nigeria. A statement signed by its group chief branding and communications officer, Anthony Chiejina, the refinery said the price adjustments was a direct response to the positive outlook within the global energy and gas markets and the recent reduction in international crude oil prices. Amid mounting losses, oil marketers under Petroan have called for a regulation mandating that fuel prices be adjusted only every 6 months, but it remains uncertain whether the regulatory body will approve the demand. National Vice President of IPMAN, Hamed Fashola, said while the price war has benefited Nigerians, the unpredictability of fuel price reductions is forcing oil marketers to cut their purchases, leading to significant daily losses. Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria has refuted claims that it opposed the recent reduction in premium motor spirit petrol prices by Dangote Refinery and the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited. Former President aide Reno Omokri, in a post on his verified X, formerly Twitter, handle alleged that IPMAN was protesting against the federal government due to the affordability of Dangote and NNPCL fuel. Omokri claimed that rather than Nigerians protesting against high fuel prices, oil marketers were instead resisting the price cuts, adding that for the first time in Nigeria's history, IPMAN, the Independent Petroleum Marketers of Nigeria, are protesting against the Nigerian government because NNPCL and Dangote refineries fuel is so cheap that their imported fuel is causing them to lose money. However, IPMAN has dismissed Omokri's claims, insisting that it never opposed the recent fuel price reduction, which resulted from the full deregulation of the downstream sector. IPMAN's National Vice President, Ahmed Fashola, in a statement maintained that the report referenced by Omokri could not have originated from the association, as independent marketers have long championed the call for full deregulation of the oil and gas sector. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi says President Donald Trump urged Tehran to end support for Yemen's Houthi forces. Trump said Washington has launched decisive and powerful military action to end the threat posed to Red Sea shipping by Yemen's Houthi rebels and demanded Tehran's support must end immediately. The rebels, who have controlled much of Yemen for more than a decade, part of the axis of resistance of pro-Iran groups staunchly opposed to Israel and the United States. The Houthis have attacked Israel and Red Sea shipping throughout the Gaza war, and Iran's top diplomat said. The time when Washington could dictate Tehran's foreign policy ended in 1979. The Islamic Revolution ousted the Western-backed Shah. The U.S. strikes against Yemen's Houthis are the first since Trump's return to the White House in January, and at least 21 people had been killed, including children. About 51 persons were killed and more than 100 injured when a fire broke out in a nightclub near early on Sunday in the North Macedonian town of Kokani. Interior Minister Pan Stoskovsky said the fire was caused by pyrotechnic devices used during the concert and is setting the ceiling alight above the band, which appeared to step away from the video courts. Prime Minister Hishjan Miksosi said in a post on Facebook that it was a difficult and very sad day for Macedonia, adding that the loss of so many young lives is irreparable, stressing that the pain of the families, loved ones, and friends is immeasurable. About 27 persons were killed and dozens were injured when tornadoes and violent storms raked across the central United States. This is after the storm of homes and large trucks overturned, as forecasters warned of more tornadoes to come, while 8 people died in Kansas in a crash involving more than 50 vehicles caused by low visibility during a severe dust storm. Police, the Missouri State Highway Patrol, confirmed 12 storm-related fatalities and shared images of boats piled up on top of one another at a marina destroyed by the weather, adding that the reports downed trees and power lines, as well as damage to buildings, with some areas severely impacted by tornadoes, thunderstorms, and large hail. Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders declared a state of emergency in response and said she had spoken with President Donald Trump while 200,000 homes and businesses across the central United States were without power. Tornadoes are spinning columns of air that touch the ground for massive cumulonimbus thunderstorms and clouds. The Central and Southern America states of Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas get the most violent ones due to unique geographical and meteorological conditions. According to the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, this comes after, in 2024, 54 people died in tornado-related incidents in the United States. Pope Francis has described his hospitalization as a period of trial and thanks well wishes for prayers in a message from hospital where he has been receiving treatment for pneumonia. The 88-year-old Pope was hospitalized since February 14, and he had sent a particularly personal message to the faithful published by the Vatican, as he once again missed delivering the traditional Angelus prayer in person. On Saturday, the Vatican said Francis's condition continued to be stable and showing up progress, as it has for its past week, but cautioned he still needed therapies to be administered within the hospital. Francis is being careful for on the 10th floor of the hospital, home to a special papal suite, including a chapel. And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at the major stories. Rivers Assembly accuses Fubara of stalling budget processes. Youth Copper alleges threats for criticizing Tinubu's government. Serap sues Akpabio over Natasha's suspension. Nigeria's $1.1 billion loan request to be granted. Tornado storms kill 27 people in U.S. Arsenal caught Liverpool with 1-0 win over Chelsea. Nigeria has no plans for youth Thames manager. I am Francis Necker. Thank you for watching. You can follow us on all our social media platforms. Twitter at Atlantic TV Net, Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic Television Network, Instagram at Atlantic TV Network. Peace and unity are the pathways to progress.